From factory concepts to wild one-offs, these Fairlanes weren't just built, they were sculpted to bend light and logic. With glass roofs that stretched skyward and domes borrowed from sci-fi, each car on this list didn't just break the mold, it vaporized it. These weren't your average cruisers. Some were street-legal dreams, others pure fantasy. But every one of them left jaws on showroom floors and at car shows across the country. Whether hand-built or Detroit-sanctioned, they blurred the line between machine and art. These are the 7 bubble-roof Fairlanes that flipped the script on American car design and left the auto world stunned. The 1950s and 60s were a golden age of experimentation, when automakers and custom builders dared to chase the impossible, and nowhere was that more evident than with the radical rise of Bubbletop Fairlanes. These weren't just cars, they were statements. From factory Skyliners with transparent panels to full-blown show rods with acrylic domes, bubble-roof Fairlanes pushed design beyond steel and into spectacle. In this video, we're diving deep into 7 of the most eye-popping, rule-breaking Fairlanes ever built. Some were limited-run curiosities. Others were sculpted in garages with nothing but wild vision and fiberglass. But all of them rewrote what a Ford could look like. Let's begin. Top 1, 1960 Ford Fairlane Spaceliner Bubbletop. This wasn't a Ford concept car. It wasn't even a factory special. The 1960 Fairlane Spaceliner was a one-man rebellion, an outlandish vision of the future, brought to life with chrome, acrylic, and the kind of imagination Detroit feared. Built by the legendary Bill Cushenberry, the Spaceliner began as a 1960 Ford Fairlane two-door sedan, but under his torch, the stock lines melted into a sculpted masterpiece. Cushenberry stripped away the original roof and replaced it with a hand-blown acrylic bubble canopy, perfectly curved and seated on a polished chrome base. The nose was sharpened to a needlepoint, the grille floated behind a sea of chrome spears, and the rear fenders were extended into jet-style tail cones. Painted in shimmering candy apple red, the car looked like a spacecraft ready for takeoff. Inside, the dream continued. A custom-fabricated twin-pod aluminum dash housed toggle switches and retro-futuristic gauges. The seats were low-back buckets, upholstered in white pearl vinyl with blood-red pleats. Chrome trim lined the floors, door panels, and even the roof perimeter. It didn't just look space-age, it was space-age. Under the stretched hood sat a 292 cubic inch Ford Y-block V8, delivering an estimated 200 horsepower. Despite being a showpiece, the Spaceliner was fully drivable. With light curb weight and modified suspension geometry, it could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 10.5 seconds, faster than many full-size sedans of its day. It wasn't built for racing, but it didn't need a trailer either. Only one Spaceliner was ever made. It toured the indoor show circuit in the early 60s, capturing trophies, magazine covers, and gasps from every crowd. After decades hidden away, it was fully restored and now resides in a private collection, a singular, untouchable relic of atomic-era fantasy. But for all its polish and pedigree, the Spaceliner had competition, not from Detroit, but from a garage. Because the next Fairlane Bubbletop wasn't built by a legend, it was built by a lone hot rodder with plexiglass ambition and a mission to upstage Ford itself. Top 2, 1962 Ford Galaxie Bubbletop Club Victoria. It wasn't radical like the Customs. It wasn't a one-off. But it was the final breath of a short-ribbed design era. Ford's last mass-produced bubble roof. Smooth, symmetrical, and surprisingly potent, this Galaxie was factory muscle wrapped in a glass dome. The 1962 Galaxie Club Victoria continued the bubble-top theme that Ford had begun in 1960. It featured a wide, seamless wraparound rear glass, almost uninterrupted by pillars, creating a canopy-like silhouette. This floating roof effect turned heads even standing still. Up front, it wore a reshaped grille, flatter hood, and afterburner-style taillights, signatures of Ford's space-age design. Chrome outlined the glass and body lines with restraint. Finished in Wimbledon white, Rangoon red, or silver moss poly, it rode on 14-inch steel wheels with optional spinner hubcaps. This wasn't just for show. Beneath the hood, buyers could spec a 406 cubic inch FE Big Block V8, topped with triple Holley 2-barrels, delivering up to 405 horsepower. Mated to a 4-speed manual and posi-traction rear end, it could sprint 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.2 seconds. brutal for a full-size coupe in 1962. The cabin was clean and futuristic. A wide speedometer flanked by chrome bezel gauges with optional bucket seats, floor shifter, and power accessories. Upholstery choices included two-tone vinyl or premium brocade, and luxury touches like AC and AM radio were available. Ford built 22,417 units of the Galaxie Club Victoria in 1962, but only a fraction were ordered with the Bubbletop roof and high-performance 406 package. Most were family cruisers. Few buyers realized they could spec this elegant cruiser into a factory sleeper. Surviving 406 equipped bubble roofs are now ultra-rare collectibles. But while the Galaxie balanced speed and style, the next Fairlane would abandon balance altogether. It wasn't factory-built, wasn't subtle, and sure as hell wasn't legal for mass roads. A homegrown show rod with candy paint, joystick controls, and a roof straight from sci-fi nightmares, hand-built to shock. Top 3. Beatnik Bubbletop, based on 1955 Fairlane. This wasn't just a custom, it was a hallucination on wheels. A 1955 Fairlane chopped, sectioned, stretched, and reborn with a clear dome and Cadillac fins. The Beatnik Bubbletop didn't ask for attention, it demanded it, like a flying saucer crash-landed at a car show. Originally a '55 Ford Fairlane, this car was unrecognizable after the legendary Gary Chopet Fiotto got to it. He didn't just modify it, he obliterated every factory line. The body was radically smooth, the front extended with custom quad headlight pods, and the rear morphed into giant Cadillac Eldorado-style tail fins. But the showstopper? A massive one-piece acrylic bubble roof, clear, domed, and seated atop a teardrop-shaped canopy. The entire body was painted in deep candy lavender pearl, accented with pinstriped flames and chrome that ran like liquid metal. No door handles, no visible seams, just otherworldly perfection from every angle. Despite its show-only roots, the Beatnik Bubbletop was fully functional. Power came from a Chevy 350 small-block V8, producing an estimated 300 horsepower, paired with a turbo 350 automatic transmission. It wasn't built for speed, but could cruise comfortably at highway pace. Air suspension let it sit low at rest and rise when needed. Inside, the cockpit was as wild as the shell. A bubble canopy covered a white vinyl interior with lavender piping, a sculpted dashboard, and aircraft-style toggle switches. The steering was joystick-controlled, and the rear housed a custom bench molded into the body. No corners were untouched. The Beatnik Bubbletop became an instant custom culture legend after debuting in the mid-2000s. It swept top awards at indoor shows and earned a permanent place in Bubbletop history. No clones, no kits, just one, hand-built, high-concept, and now part of the RoboMod collection in a private museum. It was never meant for streets, only spotlights. But while the Beatnik was a cartoonish fantasy, the next Fairlane brought bubble dreams back down to earth. Mass-produced, retractable, and engineered with clockwork precision. A roof that didn't float above the car, it folded into it. Top 4. 1955 Ford Fairlane Crown Victoria Transparent Top. Before customs went full sci-fi with domes and candy paint, Ford quietly tested the waters of see-through roofs. And in 1955, the Fairlane Crown Victoria Transparent Top landed part luxury coupe, part rolling greenhouse. It wasn't a prototype, but it sure felt like a preview of things to come. In the peak of the chrome-laden the '50s, Ford dropped the Fairlane Crown Victoria Skyliner, a two-door hardtop unlike anything else on the lot. What set it apart? A smoked acrylic glass panel built directly into the forward section of the roof, right over the front seats. It created a skylight effect by day and a glowing bubble at night under city lights. The car still wore the Crown Victoria's signature stainless basket handle roof trim arching over the center, but with a translucent twist. Exterior styling screamed 1950s optimism. Color-matched steel wheels with wide white walls, two-tone paint schemes, chrome spears down the flanks, and an elegant Fairlane script on the fenders. Though not designed as a performance car, buyers could spec the Skyliner with a 272 or 292 Y-block V8, producing up to 198 horsepower. Paired with Ford's 3-speed Ford-O-Matic or optional overdrive manual, the car could still hustle, hitting 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 12.5 seconds. More cruiser than bruiser, it prioritized comfort, visibility, and style. The interior was lavish for its class. Vinyl and cloth two-tone bench seats, bright dash trim, and wraparound windshield. The acrylic panel featured a retractable sunshade to block heat, a necessary fix after owners complained about turning their cabin into a solar oven. But that view? Unmatched. Ford built 1,999 units of the Crown Victoria Skyliner in 1955 before discontinuing the transparent roof. It wasn't a commercial hit, but it was a cultural spark. Today's surviving examples are rare, with most lost to sun damage or restoration neglect. Pristine models command steep prices at auctions for their rarity and visual intrigue, but if a fixed acrylic skylight was Ford's first flirtation with bubble dreams, the next Fairlane would double down. With a roof that didn't just shine, it disappeared entirely. Top 5. Scott Wiley's 1960 Fairlane Bubbletop Show Rod. Forget the factories. This bubble roof Fairlane wasn't dreamt up in Ford's design studio, it was born in a garage. Welded, molded, and sculpted by one man, this Fairlane didn't follow the trends, it redefined them. Scott Wiley's custom 1960 Fairlane show rod began life as a basic two-door sedan, but what emerged after his transformation was anything but ordinary. Wiley chopped the top, sectioned the body, and sculpted new fenders to form an organic, flowing silhouette. Most jaw-dropping of all was the massive clear bubble roof, a hand-fitted acrylic dome mounted seamlessly onto a reshaped cabin, creating the illusion that the car had no roof at all. The body was smoothed of all seams and handles, then drenched in a mirror-finish metallic green. Custom lake pipes hugged the rocker panels, while deep dish chrome wheels and moon hubcaps added to the low-slung, futuristic presence. Every curve was exaggerated, every proportion stretched like a Hot Wheels prototype made real. Inside, Wiley didn't settle for simple. The cockpit was decked in white tuck-and-roll vinyl, seats, dash, walls, even the floor. A center-mount joystick-style steering column gave it a spaceship feel. Switches were mounted in chrome bezels, gauges floated in acrylic pods, and the gas pedal resembled a fighter jet throttle. And under that elongated hood, a small block Ford V8, likely a 289 cubic inch unit, producing around 225 horsepower, paired to an automatic transmission. Estimated 0 to 60 miles per hour time hovered around 9.5 seconds, plenty brisk for a show car. This one-off creation wasn't built to sell or even to race, it was built to stun, and it did. The Wiley Fairlane earned top honors at regional and national indoor car shows in the early 2000s, quickly becoming a cult icon in the custom culture scene. There was never a second version, no production, no plans, no clones, just one green bulletproof dream sealed in acrylic and chrome. But Wiley's hand-built Fairlane wasn't the only one to challenge convention. The next machine would come from Ford's own heritage, but with a bubble-top twist that merged 1,960s luxury and factory firepower. Top 6. 1956 Ford Fairlane Crown Victoria Skyliner. After dipping their toe in see-through design in '55, Ford doubled down a year later. The 1956 Crown Victoria Skyliner wasn't just a glass roof novelty, it was a bolder, more refined statement. Same bubble glass roof, sharper styling, and this time, buyers actually noticed. The 1956 Skyliner was based on the upscale Fairlane Crown Victoria two-door hardtop, but added one stunning detail: a large tinted acrylic roof panel stretching over the driver and passenger seats. Unlike the open bubble domes of Wild Customs, this panel was integrated into the steel roof, trimmed with chrome, and tinted to reduce glare. Still, when sunlight hit just right, it cast a warm glow across the interior, turning heads at every stoplight. On the outside, the car wore a freshened front end for '56, with a new grille, revised trim, and bolder two-tone paint combinations. Chrome swept from the headlights, down the flanks, ending in pronounced tail fins. 14-inch wheels with wide white walls and full-wheel covers completed the look. More than just a fashion piece, the Skyliner could be had with several engine options. The top spec? A 312 cubic inch Thunderbird Special V8 pushing out 225 horsepower, paired to either a 3-speed manual or Ford-O-Matic automatic. While not a dragster, the Skyliner could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 11.5 seconds. Impressive for a full-size cruiser with glass in the roof. Inside, the cabin was bright, literally. Upholstery featured two-tone vinyl combinations, color-keyed dash inserts, and a full wind speedometer flanked by jet-age toggle switches. The panoramic windshield and see-through roof made it feel airy and futuristic, if a bit warm on sunny days. A retractable interior sunshade helped mitigate the heat, but the look? Unmistakable. Ford produced 603 units of the Skyliner in 1956, making it rarer than the 1955 version. Though still a niche curiosity, it found more enthusiasts thanks to its improved styling and better roof tinting. Today, clean examples are prized by collectors for their rarity and unmatched roofline. But even a tinted glass top wasn't wild enough for the late 50s. The next Fairlane wouldn't just show the sky, it would swallow the entire roof into the trunk with the push of a button. Retractable madness was about to begin. Top 7 1957-59 Ford Fairlane 500 Skyliner Retractable. It wasn't a bubble, it wasn't just glass, it was a mechanical miracle. The Fairlane 500 Skyliner didn't float its roof, it hid it. At the push of a button, a full steel hardtop folded, flipped, and disappeared into the trunk. In the 1950s, that wasn't a feature, it was science fiction. Debuting in 1957, the Fairlane 500 Skyliner retractable hardtop was the first and only mass-produced American car with a fully retractable steel roof. Unlike the fixed glass panels of the previous Skyliners, this was a full-size, 5-passenger convertible coupe that could transform itself in under a minute. The engineering was astonishing. 7 electric motors, 4 lift jacks, 4 locking mechanisms, and hundreds of feet of wiring choreographed the ballet-like motion. Design-wise, the Skyliner was a beauty. It featured long, low body lines, modest tail fins, twin bullet grille inserts, and a wide chrome spear down each flank. Two-tone paint schemes were popular: sunset coral over colonial white, or flame red over raven black. The car rode on 14-inch wheels, wrapped in wide white walls, with Ford's signature full-disc hubcaps. Despite its Emils per Esses style and innovation, the Skyliner could move. Available engines included the 292, 312, and 352 cubic inch V8S, with the top-tier 352 cubic inch V8 producing 300 horsepower. Paired with a Cruise-O-Matic automatic, the car could sprint 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 10.5 seconds. Not bad for a 4,000-pound marvel with a steel roof in its belly. The cabin was plush. Two-tone vinyl bench seats, gold-accented dashboard trim, a horizontal speedometer, and an underdash control panel for the roof. Visibility was great with the top-up, and unlimited with it down. Best of both worlds. Ford built 20,766 Skyliners in 1957, 14,713 in 1958, and 12,915 in 1959, totaling just under 49,000 units over 3 years. It was expensive, complex, and required constant maintenance, but it was unforgettable. Few cars stunned the public like the Skyliner did. The bubble era was nearing its end, but not before one last ripple. Customizers would take Fairlane DNA, throw out the rulebook, and hand-build domes so strange, even Ford engineers raised eyebrows. The bubble roof era came and went in a flash, but its legacy still ripples through automotive culture. These Fairlanes weren't built for everyone, they weren't even built for most, but for a brief, daring moment, they showed us what happens when imagination outruns practicality. Whether hidden in private collections, displayed under museum lights, or rolling onto modern concours lawns, they remain frozen moments of fearless design. And while modern cars play it safe, these 7 rebels remind us that once upon a time, Detroit dreamed in curves, domes, and chrome. Which one shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more forgotten legends and outrageous machines from the golden era of muscle.